Gotti was in the streets for real in Memphis, bro. Like, I ain't saying it because I'm saying to him. I just keep it real. If he won the street, nigga, I'd say he went in the street. He was in the streets, bro. Like, you gonna see Gotti. You in the city. The mall, I used to see Gotti in the mall, like the hood mall, like super hood, like down there, like you know you ain't shopping, you just came here to walk around. Like, literally. Big ass chains on, 100 with him. Chopper Glocks, all that. But, you know, he cooled down a lot, bro. Like, Gotti was worse than me, probably, when he came in.
Well, I feel like, man, whatever you do wrong must come back around in a circle. Just like, you know what I'm talking about? If you did wrong and everybody know it's blatant, the truth is out in the open. You sent that type of energy towards the Young Dolph way, and you got no Young Dolph knocked off. I talked to Govan. I did an interview with Hernandez Govan, the dude who set the whole, supposedly, you know what I'm saying, Dolph murder.
Hey, man, y'all rich tell them bitches what it is, bro.
YFN shit, y'all fly niggas.
Look,
CMG
big
shit, y'all rich niggas.
What's the first thing you plan to do?
Go hug my son.
Mr. Govan, you haven't smiled all this week, but obviously you have a lot to smile about. Just tell me just about what you're feeling in right now.
Like I said, it's kind of hard to explain the feeling of getting your life back.
It's starting to look like CMG is crumbling right in front of our eyes, and the streets aren't staying quiet anymore. For years, people whispered about cracks in Yo Gotti's camp, but now those whispers sound more like alarm bells ringing across Memphis. Stan G, one of the most tapped-in voices in the city, sat down with no jumper and said the things everybody else was scared to even breathe. His claim? Yo Gotti might actually be setting up his own artist, Black Youngsta. And let's be clear, this isn't some fake rumor spun by trolls hiding behind screens. This came straight from someone with ties to the streets, the same circle connected to the Young Dolph murder. When Stan G talks, it doesn't sound like messy gossip. It hits like a direct warning. On that interview, he didn't sugarcoat a thing. He said flat out that the exact same energy Gotti used against Young Dolph is the same energy that ended with Dolph's death.
Put out a story, the other day I put out a story, Young Mob had ended up catching a Rico, you know what I'm talking about, and I put out a story, an hour later the news ran to sign.
But here's the part that really has everybody shaken. If Gotti was willing to take it that far with a rival he hated, what makes anyone think he wouldn't turn on his own man if he suddenly felt threatened? That's what has the streets on edge right now. Because if that's the truth, then nobody in his inner circle can really say they are safe. Stan G didn't just stop at the surface. He went all the way in. He described Black Youngsta as a fall guy, the one Gotti pushed to make the reckless moves, pick the wild beefs, and drop those crazy videos other rappers wouldn't dare put out. Back then, that chaos was CMG's fuel, keeping the label raw and dangerous. But with Dolph's murder case still casting a shadow, Stan G said that same role now makes Youngsta look less like an asset and more like a liability. And in Gotti's world, liabilities don't last long. The fans caught it immediately. This wasn't some recycled street tale. It felt like a live warning shot. Stan G wasn't there to gossip. He was setting off alarms. His words hit direct. Keep your guard up. He even pointed out how, in this game, the same energy you dish out always finds its way back. And the way Gotti operates, Youngsta's loyalty could be the exact thing that ends up putting a target on his back. For years, CMG looked untouchable. Gotti had the perfect roster, Moneybagg Yo dropping consistent hits, Black Youngsta bringing shock value with his antics, and Glorilla blowing up overnight as a new star. From the outside, it looked like one big family locked in with no cracks. But that image doesn't fit anymore. Moneybagg's wave slowed down. Youngsta's flame dimmed.
Hell, at this point, because you lost all the his last artist is Glorilla. She doing crazy because he putting a crazy bag behind Glorilla.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So Glorilla, she gonna shine regardless right now. But when he go over there and dealing with them Texas boys, them folk got hit up. Them folk got hit up everywhere you go to, like the Fed watching it. You know what I'm talking about? He signed that boy over there, that boy ended up going to jail. So they watching that boy so close.
And now Gotti is pouring everything into Glorilla, who's left holding the brand up by herself. Instead of looking like a strong empire, CMG now feels like a battlefield. The energy isn't about unity anymore. It's about survival. And that's why the streets keep asking the same question. Inside Yo Gotti's kingdom, who can really say they are safe? Then came the moment that had everybody's antennas up. Out of nowhere, Black Youngsta wiped CMG from his bio, and fans clocked it immediately. His captions started sounding like subliminals, quiet jabs that felt aimed at his own circle. Right after that, Stan G dropped his warning, and that's when everything flipped. It stopped feeling like jokes and started sounding deadly serious. Now, every post looks like a clue, every move feels suspicious, and the loyalty CMG used to brag about is starting to look paper-thin. To really understand why things are boiling over between Yo Gotti and Youngsta now, you have to rewind the story back to young Dolph. That's where this storm really began. Years back, Gotti tried to bring Dolph into CMG, but Dolph shut it down cold. From that second, the game changed. It wasn't just about business anymore. It got personal. Gotti didn't just swallow the rejection.
The only reason I didn't do it, like I could have went over there and got with Gotti and got the co-signer and sped my whole process up. But at the same time, I couldn't do it because I had too much of my own money and too much of my own time invested into it. So it wouldn't have made sense for me. You see what I'm saying? And man, it's like, that's Memphis, bro. That town is too small. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, if anything, if he wanted to do something, I wanted to do something, bro, it's like, let's do it. That town is small. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad to hear that.
It's just Memphis one of them cities like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you pay attention, it always been a artist at the city center. I'm the king of Memphis. I'm the king of Memphis. That's why it done been so hard for other artists to pop out and take off, because everybody want to be that I. The big one is just me.
He allegedly tried blocking Dolph at every turn. But instead of slowing him down, Dolph only grew bigger and brighter. That's when the whispers turned into an all-out war. Diss tracks started flying. The public shots got uglier, and the streets underneath were boiling with tension. And right in the middle of it all, Black Youngsta. He wasn't just talking about the beef, he was living it. Pulling up in rival hoods, filming reckless videos, making moves other rappers wouldn't dare try. That's what made him look fearless, but it also locked him even deeper into Gotti's dangerous playbook. Back then, people brushed it off as nothing more than Black Youngsta's crazy persona. But looking back now, those weren't just reckless stunts, they were dangerous plays. Even Stan G called them federal moves, because Youngsta was putting himself in situations that could only attract the wrong kind of heat. So when Dolph was tragically shot down in Memphis, the spotlight swung straight towards CMG. Nothing was ever proven on Gotti or Youngsta.
Hey man, young rich tell them bitch what it is, bro.
Wild fan shit. Young fly nigga.
Look,
CMG
big.
shit. Young rich nigga. Every count shit.
Nah, I would never f them broke ass. That shit. When I was broke, why would I f them now they broke? It ain't my fault you broke. You were playing on me. I'm telling my ooh, I'm pregnant. Ooh. My shoe just fell out. Ooh, my head just fell out. Ooh.
But the streets already decided their verdict. And once your name gets tied to something that heavy, it never washes off. That shadow is still hanging over CMG to this day. And it's why Youngsta doesn't look like the wild acid anymore. He looks more like a walking reminder of a scandal the label will never escape. 4 years, he was CMG's ultimate wild card. The spark plug, the chaos engine, the one flashing ridiculous stacks and stirring the energy that kept the label buzzing.
Long time. See, it's a long story behind Black Youngsta. See, Black Youngsta was hanging with one of Gotti in the midst before he got with Gotti. Okay. So Black Youngsta is somebody who just jump around for the money. He's just a send out. He one of the biggest send outs from Memphis.
Anytime Gotti needed attention, Youngsta was a switch he flipped. Fans once crowned him as a loyal soldier, the one who would ride for CMG no matter what. But now, with Dolph's murder still casting doubt and crack splitting inside the camp, that loyalty doesn't look like strength. It looks like risk. The real question isn't whether Youngsta can keep CMG hot anymore. It's whether keeping him close could end up burning the entire empire down. But Stan G didn't see any of that as real loyalty. He called it exactly what it was. In his eyes, Black Youngsta wasn't holding it down for CMG. He was being used like a pawn. Stan straight up branded him one of the biggest sendos in Memphis, saying Gotti was sending Youngsta to handle the reckless, messy moves that he himself didn't want to be connected to. And when you break it down, the pattern feels almost too perfect to ignore. Gotti always played the role of the calm, strategic boss, the one who stayed cool, kept his image clean, and moved in silence while others did the dirty work. Meanwhile, Youngsta was a one out front wilding, turning beef into full-on spectacles, and being the face of chaos. It made Gotti look untouchable while Youngsta took the heat. And when you line it up that way, Stan's words don't sound like a conspiracy. They sound like the truth the streets have been whispering for years. But here's the reality. Roles like that never last forever. After Dolph's death, all those antics stopped being funny and started looking flat-out dangerous. Instead of being CMG Spark, Youngsta became the one dragging all the baggage. Every diss, every graveyard stunt, every reckless flex got tied right back to him. Now, he's gone quiet. Stan G even said Youngsta is in hide mode, ducking the light because Dolph's case is still alive in the streets. To Gotti, silence looks like dead weight. To the streets, it looks like he's finished. And that's where the cracks really start showing. Black Youngsta has gone viral more than once for wiping CMG from his bio and screaming independence. Normally it's a cycle. Fans speculate. He pops back up, nothing changes. But this time, the energy hit different. Right after Stan's warning spread across Memphis, Youngsta started unloading rants. And these weren't random outbursts. He was aiming darts at fake CEOs, fake brothers, fake big homies, labels fans have been pinning on Gotti for years. He said he was done with fake love, fake loyalty, and trusting the wrong people. He didn't stop there either. He vented hard on the rap game, asking why so many act like killers while hiding behind beats. At one point, he said if somebody's really a killer, then why not stand on it instead of pretending in songs? That wasn't trolling energy, that was frustration pouring out raw. He admitted to losing friends, being left alone, and realizing that no matter how much money he stacks, he's still touchable. That wasn't flexing. That was a man admitting danger is parked right at his door. The timing was too sharp to overlook. Fans were already whispering about cracks inside CMG, and here comes Youngsta basically confirming the smoke without ever saying Gotti's name. But everybody caught the message. The twist? Yo Gotti has always sold himself as a mob boss. His whole name is tied to John Gotti. So when Youngsta fired those fake CEO shots, Gotti clapped back mafia style, sliding coded bars over Jay-Z's legendary Dynasty intro. It was his way of flexing, reminding everyone who's really pulling strings. In mob culture, breaking rank isn't just disrespect, it's betrayal. And betrayal never ends clean. That's why people say the fracture between Yo Gotti and Black Youngsta really exploded after Dolph's murder. The streets were already pointing fingers at CMG. Gotti's own brother, Big Juk, was hauled in and questioned by police. And more recently, Hernandez Govan, the alleged triggerman, walked free after being acquitted, shocking Memphis and leaving Dolph's people crushed. The courtroom moment went viral. Cameras caught Govan celebrating with his legal team while Dolph supporters sat broken, praying for justice that never came. The last thing Gotti needed was more smoke from inside his own camp. But Youngsta couldn't stay quiet. He went viral pulling stunts at a grave site with Dolph's last name on the headstone. And he kept dropping reckless posts like nothing mattered. What he called loyalty, Gotti saw as poison to the brand. Fans picked up on the shift instantly. What once looked like diehard loyalty now looked like reckless self-destruction that could sink the whole empire. From there, CMG's cracks were impossible to cover up. Moneybag Yo's momentum slowed down. 42 Doug got swallowed up by legal issues, and Youngsta practically disappeared. Even Stan G said Gotti can't move like before. There's too much smoke still hanging over him since Dolph's death. Right now, the only one keeping CMG afloat is Glorilla. But let's be real, one artist can't carry an entire empire forever. That's why fans aren't asking who's next to blow anymore. They're asking who's next to fall. And that's where the fear around Youngsta gets real. Because Yo Gotti isn't just another rapper. He's plugged in deep. Stan G spelled it out. If Gotti wants someone's career ended, it ends. If he wants legal smoke, that can happen too. So when Youngsta tosses subliminal shots, it's not harmless shade. It's dangerous. In Gotti's world, being seen as a liability doesn't just cost you a record deal, it can cost you everything. And let's be clear, if this ever tips into war, it won't stay on wax. Gotti moves like Memphis royalty, with money, power, and reach that stretch far past the studio. If things get ugly, it won't just be diss records, it could pull in families, crews, and whole neighborhoods. But Youngsta isn't built to fold. His silence and cryptic posts didn't come out of nowhere. Insiders say CMG tension had been bubbling for years, and now it's spilling into the open for everyone to see. The darker part? Youngsta knows too much. He has been right in the middle of every beef, every street move, every headline tied to Gotti's name. That history alone makes him dangerous, not just for CMG's image, but for Gotti himself. Think back, when the Dolph War lit up, who was the loudest soldier for CMG? Not Gotti, not Moneybag. It was Youngsta, reckless and unapologetic, dragging the spotlight where Gotti least wanted it. And now, years later, that same reckless energy is what makes him look like deadweight. The streets never forget. Fans still pull up those clips of him wilding in graveyards, flashing stacks, and talking reckless in rival neighborhoods. To some, that looked like ride-or-die loyalty. To others, it looked like a slow-motion crash. And with Dolph's murder still haunting Memphis, Youngsta's name is stuck in that shadow forever. That's why Stan G's warning shook the streets. He wasn't talking music, he was talking survival. In his words, Gotti's empire moves like a machine. When one piece breaks, it gets replaced. If that's the case, Youngsta isn't just replaceable, he's disposable. Some fans say his own recklessness caused this. Others believe years of loyalty are being traded in for nothing. Either way, the cracks inside CMG aren't whispers anymore. They're wide open. And that's what makes this dangerous. Black Youngsta is emotional, raw, and unfiltered. But unpredictability mixed with Gotti's ruthless business style, that's a time bomb ticking loud. Fans are already bracing, because nobody wants another Dolph situation. With Youngsta calling out fake CEOs and Stan G hinting Gotti could ice him out, the writing is on the wall. This is bigger than rap, it's survival mode. If CMG doesn't clamp this down fast, they risk losing more than one artist. They risk the entire legacy that once made them untouchable. And the real question now is simple. How far will Yo Gotti go to keep his throne? Because if Stan G is right, Youngsta isn't just in the middle of label politics. He's standing at the edge of something much darker. So now it's on you. Do you think Yo Gotti is really plotting against his own artist, or is Black Youngsta spiraling out of control? Drop your take in the comments, because the streets are watching this story unfold, and it's nowhere near finished. And before you bounce, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Mick Whispers for more of the wildest celebrity drama. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's next. Tap the video on your screen right now and dive deeper into the chaos of fame and power.